What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Jaguars Fan Battle podcast, a member of the Fan Battle Sports Network. I am one of your hosts, Matthew G. Also joining me is the other host, Cody Cold. What's up, man?
What's going on, everybody?
Another day, another dollar, another big fat L. So let's just dive into it, man. Cody, your initial thoughts coming out of the 49ers game.
We sucked. just laying a goose egg, man. It was like the culmination of everything that I said this on the other podcast. It was just a culmination of every like bad thing that I like, all my fears of like if the Jags like did the opposite of like, getting coached better or whatever, getting better at things that they need to get better at, like if that happened. It was like the turnovers. You gotta secure the ball better. Trevor Lawrence didn't have time in the pocket or whatever. Offensive line was taking a beating by Chase Young and Bosa, and that was crazy to watch. Like, what can you do? So I was just rewatching some highlights. Dearness Johnson had some good runs, and then for some reason they put him to the side and put Tank Bigsby in, and trying to get their three workhorse running backs a chance at the show. And Tank Bigsby wasn't doing too great. So and that's a what was it, third round pick?
Yeah, third round.
Yeah, I still don't understand that one.
Yeah,
But anyway, we carry on. So Christian Kirk was also doing a pretty decent job all the way up until the strip fumble that they ran back for a touchdown. And I just now watching the highlights, I didn't catch this during the game, but Trevor Lawrence like ran him all the way down into the end zone. So that was pretty nuts. Defense, man, that was just it would have been 60 something to 3. They they did their part for the most part, and that's crazy, like considering how many points they scored. But they're also like, our offense goes out there 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and it's like, what do you expect them to do at that point?
Yeah,
It's like they're carrying the game on their shoulders or whatever, and they made some crucial mistakes. So Trayvon Walker got to Brock Purdy once that I saw or whatever, and smacked him, and it was beautiful. That was cool to see. Other than that, it wasn't really like a high point in the game for me. It didn't feel like at any point in time we were clicking. It felt like going into the bye week, they just went on, vacation or whatever, just riding the waves of their success instead of being like focused and ready for the next game. And it looked like the 49ers did the opposite of that. They looked like they got a couple of beatdowns or whatever, went into the bye week with a chip on their shoulder and came out and gave us the business. So yeah, man, it was just an embarrassing loss. And I remember last year this happening in a similar fashion when we played the Detroit Lions. And not me and you played, but the Jaguars did.
right.
But anyway, so like, and I had a similar feeling, after watching that game. I was like, man, do we even deserve to be here? And then look how that year turned out, going into the playoffs and winning a playoff game and then losing a close one to the Super Bowl champs. So, hopefully that happens again. You know what I mean? Like maybe they needed this one to, finally fix their problems that I feel like they've been having all year. We're watching games that they're winning, and I'm noticing the issues or whatever, and it looks like they're not getting addressed, even though we are winning. I'm not walking out of the games feeling good or confident about like, the offense. I feel like they should be way better. People are talking about how Zay Jones is like the highlight of the offense as far as like red zone goes, and that's crazy to say when you have as many weapons as the Jags do.
Yeah.
You're talking about Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, and Evan Ingram and Travis Etienne, and it's just shouldn't happen regardless of what happens. It's like next man up and mentality, like has to be that way, and you have to figure it out. And you can't solely rely your entire offense off of one guy. So
yeah,
like all around, it just felt bad. But I think there's glimmers of hope. Obviously we're 6-3 now,
Mhm.
with the best record in the AFC South, despite the Houston Texans winning multiple Super Bowls this season, with their Hall of Famer quarterback, CJ
Right.
Stroud.
What
Yeah,
a man.
yeah. I mean, the guy's playing excellent. And, credit to him. But if Texans fans could decide right now, he already has like 5 Super Bowl rings. So
Yeah.
and that's the way they talk about him, whatever. And it's kind of cool to see, like, actually it's not, fuck them, but we carry on. Yeah, jelly,
Jelly.
maybe a little. I mean, not to the extent of like my team's winning, like 5 in a row. Like
Mhm.
they didn't have like an embarrassing loss to the Panthers. You know what I mean? Like they're not bad. They're not like terrible or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
and Trevor Lawrence isn't as bad as the stats are like saying that he is. It's just no, they're not. No, they're not. It's still Jags are still first in the division, dude. I mean, I live by facts and reality, and that is how it is. So, but yeah, man. I think they definitely need to step it up. They definitely need to work out the kinks, and it has to be now if we want to make a legit run.
Agree.
Yeah.
There's so much to unload out of this game, but so I'm no coach, but to me, there's something wrong with offense. Is it the play calling? Is it the performance on the field? Is it the mix of both? It's probably that last one. But there's something wrong with the offense, and the defense, fortunately, has been covering up for it this year. We haven't been performing. That's not to say we have a horrible offense, but our defense has been. I mean, we went into the game leading the league in turnovers, at least tied with the Saints as far as getting turnovers on defense. And when you win the turnover battle, typically you win the game. And so our defense has been picking up the slack that our offense has been putting out there. And yesterday was a culmination of our offense just not firing on any cylinders. And our defense, they didn't have the best game ever. But like you said, it's like when the offense goes 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, interception, fumble. Like, I mean, there's only so much this defense can do, especially against a 49ers offense who has Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk. Like, they've got players on the offensive side of the ball, and to ask the defense to continuously stop them over and over and over again, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot to ask. And what's tough is, again, I'm a fan. I'm not a coach, and I see that there are problems with the team. And I know that the coaches see that. Now I know ego comes into play as well. And so, the coaches are going to say, my way works and we're going to win and we're 6-2 for a reason, yada, yada, yada. But you had a bye week to be able to game plan. And yeah, from what I hear, Trevor Lawrence and the team went and celebrated with Trevor's wife, I guess the night before, and we're out past midnight, Saturday night. But the whole 2 weeks before, you should have been game planning for the 49ers. Now, I'm not saying we should have definitely gone in and 100% won the game, but we should have at least put up a fight. And that's the tough part, is that we weren't even competitive. And so what happens now is that we are playing into the narrative that these national media outlets keep spewing from their mouths, right? Like just a few days prior to the game, that one idiot talked about how the Jaguars are going to move to London. We all know that's not true. Danny Cannell. And then you got other people who say we're fake. We're not an elite team. We've played bad teams. We beat the Bills, who had jet lag, but come to find out, the Bills this year just aren't who we thought they were, or at least haven't gotten to where everyone was expecting them to be. So what does this game mean? Like, it was hard for us to be able to come out of this game smelling pretty, even with a win, because people would have said, well, they beat the 49ers, but the 49ers, they're not the team we thought they were. And so now we're going to have this, we're playing the national media narrative. And unfortunately, we're going to play into it for the next few weeks because the Titans are garbage, right? So even if we beat them, they're like, well, the Titans aren't a good team. And then if we beat the Texans, well, the Texans have a rookie quarterback, a rookie coach, and yada, yada. So it's like now we're kind of back, at least as fan base, we're going to have to defend against all these outsiders with all these same narratives that we felt like that we had beaten back coming into this season and coming off of that 5-game win streak. Now, I did see a couple of the power rankings, and they still have us top 10. So we're still getting some respect. Like, people do recognize that we do have talent on the field, but it doesn't mean that these conversations aren't being had. And that's super frustrating. And looking at the stats here, Tank Bixby just needs to just let him go play in the European Football League or something. I don't know. Or let him play volleyball. How many times this year have we seen him do this? Bump, set, spike. And that spike being the interception because freaking Bixby bumped the ball over to the defender. I mean, how many times do we have to see him to do that? Granted, he's not a wide receiver, but on this team as a running back and in today's NFL, you're going to be asked to catch the ball out of the backfield. On that one play that he did bump it to the defender, Trevor did throw it 100 miles an hour and Bixby was only like 5 feet away from him. So it goes a little bit both ways, but Bixby is not bringing anything to the field except interceptions. So I say keep him off, let Johnson and Etienne carry be all ball carriers for the bulk of it moving forward. It was nice to see Christian Kirk. He had a really good matchup on the outside that we exposed several times. But as we saw, Joey Bosa, the defensive line for the 49ers just kept on getting to Trevor Lawrence. And, Cody talked about this before the game. He wasn't able to set his feet very often. And we can't set your feet. You can't get into a groove. It's hard to exploit those matchups. But for a whole 4 quarters, you only put up 3 points is a little bit frustrating. And then on the defensive side, like I said, you can't fault them a whole lot. They, it was a bend and they broke. It could have been a lot worse. But I'm looking at Trayvon Walker stuff. So I'm looking at the stats, right? So the Jacksonville defense has everybody on the defensive side of the ball that made some sort of stat play in the game. Walker is literally on the very bottom of that list. And they listed in the order of number of plays you make. And so out of all the defensive players on the field, he was statistically the worst. And that's frustrating. We ended up getting 2 sacks? And I believe both of those were, Aluakon. Aluakon got both of those sacks. So not even Josh Allen chipped in there. Josh, he did have 3 total sacks with 1 QB hit. But I don't know, man. We can go on all day about how much it sucked, but it's one game. We were 0-1 this past week. This next week, we need to be 1-0. We've got the talent to do it. Are we going to pull up our big boy pants and do it? I don't know.
So I want to go over the comments. Lawrence ain't letting that bitch fly. I don't know whose fault that is, man. I don't know if it's like I see other quarterbacks in the NFL doing it, and like I seen our like this the stats for our offensive line was like one of the worst in the NFL, which makes sense. Press Taylor, maybe Doug Peterson not doing the play calling. Joey Bosa, Chase Young. Just name it, dude. There's like so many things going on. And in that single game that I saw, it's like that would make sense. There were moments too where he did let it fly downfield. Christian Kirk made some great throws. Catches. There was a miss in the end zone that would have been good.
There was also a Calvin Ridley PI call that was an obvious PI call that if the defender hadn't held Calvin Ridley, I think Calvin Ridley would have gone to the house. But there's a reason that the defender, because he knew he was going to go to the house. Something about Trevor Lawrence ain't letting it fly. I just want to go back. The Browns put up 19 points with PJ Walker quarterback.
Yeah.
Let's look. The Vikings, I believe that was Josh Dobbs, put up 22 points on this same 49ers team. Now the Bengals put up 31, but they got Joey Burr. But it's like you got Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is a little bit better, or at least I'd hope he's a little bit better than Josh Dobbs. I hope he's a little bit better than PJ Walker.
I guess when you add Chase Young into that mix or whatever, it turns out.
But I don't think Chase Young is the difference of 19 points. If he's the difference of 19 points, we should have picked him up.
Well, no, I mean, an argument could be made, like, I mean, I wanted to see him in a Jags jersey. But no, man, the mistakes that were made during this game were made every single week so far, and they all came clashing down at once. So, and you could point the finger at a lot of people for that. And Trevor Lawrence even took accountability for how bad he played this game. So,
yeah,
and they didn't give us anything to defend, for this game at least. So it's like whatever you want to say right now, whatever, just have at it. Scared to make mistakes. That could be a one too. Like if they're telling you like don't turn the ball over, don't turn the ball over, don't turn the ball over, it's like are you going to chuck it downfield if you see it?
I don't think Dougie P's saying that. Doug Peterson's. I mean, he says go for it on 4th and 13. I don't see Dougie P saying that to him. Is press, like you said, we don't know what's going on with press, Taylor.
Yeah.
Although I read that there's rumors that Dougie P apparently is going to be taking the play calls back this Sunday. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but
I don't take it in. The only time that I've thought that is when Doug Peterson is standing on the sidelines and has his glasses on, because he can't, he's an older gentleman, and the playbook is like, fine print or whatever. And when he doesn't have his glasses on, the play calling looks like shit. And when he has his glasses on, he's looking down at the play calling sheet. All of a sudden, we look good. So during the Saints game, whatever, that was our play calling looked better. Anyway, so Westview Mountain says, luckily the Jags have another bye this week to work things out before they have to play another game, send their practice squad to beat the Titans, and rest up for Stroud. Man, no. At this point or whatever, like, our offense needs work, and every game matters. Especially division matchups. So
right.
I don't even feel comfortable saying we're going to beat the Titans.
No.
Yeah.
No, because it's in Nashville. Their coach there is I still Mike Vrabel, I'm still a big fan of his, even though I'm a Jaguars fan. He's one of those gritty guys that, he's going to get the most out of his players. And like you said, it's a divisional game. So any given Sunday, especially in division.
Yeah, I mean, taking a loss like that or whatever, it would be cool to come out and have that be a statement game. But they were supposed to. This was supposed to be their statement game,
right?
And look how that turned out. So,
although I think in the preseason, I'll have to look back. I think both of us had counted this as a loss for the 49ers, but it doesn't mean you come out and look like a JV team from.
I mean, they were giving 49ers excuses like, oh, their body clock is at 10 a.m. and they're playing at 1 in Jacksonville and blah, blah, blah. They were already giving them the jet lag excuse before the game even happened. Like literally, yeah. I had, like when you said like, oh, we got to defend the Jags against national media. No, we don't. I'm tired of that already, dude. It's like
that's what I'm saying. Like I'm tired of hearing it.
They get paid to talk. They get paid to just shout, BS or whatever. And the Jags would have to win 5 fucking Super Bowls in a row, for them to even give us any sort of respect. So I don't care. I'd rather give the Jaguars respect, ourselves or whatever, which is why we started a platform like this.
Yeah.
And it sucks when they do stuff like this because then they, well, do they deserve it? But
yeah.
But whatever, man. We're like 6-3 isn't bad. You know what I mean? Trevor Lawrence is
No,
still that guy.
no.
A lot of people, like are saying that they're not that high up on him. Whatever, he's not a generational talent. Blah 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 blah. Like he's a damn good quarterback. It's better than fucking Blaine Gabbert. You know what I mean? And so I'll take that all day. I don't give a fuck. Anyway,
West
let's
V makes
go.
a good point. If Vrabel's getting the most out of his players, imagine how bad the team really is. 100%. 100%. But right now, I feel like it's the opposite with the Jaguars. Like, if Press Taylor's getting the worst out of his players, imagine how good they really are.
Hey, KJ, when you said no, he's not, can you explain? No, he's not.
Better than Blaine Gabbert? That's probably what he meant.
Oh, dude, if he said that, kick him. Blaine is on the Chiefs now. He said Super Bowl champion.
Hey, I mean,
oh, dude, that hurts.
Mark Brunell got
cool.
his Super Bowl ring too.
Yeah,
with the Saints.
And Jalen got his with the Rams.
What's tough is like, yeah, we're still 6-3, but what's tough is are the variables outside that are involved. The Texans are right behind us. They're only a game behind us right now. So it's like any sort of cushion that we felt like we had has been erased. And so it's like, and I'm not saying like we can't do it, but it's like being 6-3 does kind of matter because we really need to be, 7-2 or whatever.
Well, I imagine it looking like this. When we meet again next Tuesday, I'll imagine that we beat the Titans, and I'll imagine that the Houston Texans lost to the Cardinals, and I'll imagine that a lot of those Texans fans that are real high up right now are going to be real low down again, because like for whatever reason, if your team has a short quarterback, Houston Texans cannot beat you. And Kyler Murray is back, and he's angry. And he's 5'3". So
my wife towers over him then. No, but what's funny is you say that they'll be down, but the Texans fans aren't down. There's an excuse like last week when they lost to the Panthers, like they weren't like, oh man, this not like how we are, right? But there's a difference because we are a good team. We have an elite team. We have an elite coach. So we expect more. Whereas the Texans are like, we suck. So any win we get, yay. If we lose, we were supposed to lose anyway. So it's like for the Jaguars, we're like in a lose-lose situation no matter what. Like if we win, there's an excuse. If we lose, it's because we're the Jags. So yeah. Anyways, sorry.
No, I mean you're right. And that's the point. It was like I expect that now. And what do you do? Yeah. Like if you look around or whatever, and nobody else is giving you the recognition, it's like, do you even care or use that as a motivating factor, or like there's nothing really to do with it. I understand that like people are just like want to get their content off and all that stuff, but it's like, who cares? Like I don't, it's Duval till we die, dude. If you ain't from here, fuck you.
If you're not with us, you're against us, right?
Yeah. Mark's the best Jags QB ever.
He is right now. Trevor Lawrence is on a fast track to be able to surpass him, but he hasn't yet in my eyes.
I met Mark, man. He's a cool guy. He I actually was the pride of the Jaguars, and I met him in a parking lot. And I was like, hey, can I get this autograph? And it was like the poster of him.
Nice.
That they gave out that day at the stadium or whatever. And he was like, you got a pen? And I was like, no, I'll be right back. And then I asked a cop for one. So I figured they would have a pen. And I came back or whatever, and he was still standing there waiting for me. So
nice.
Yeah, it was dope.
He's a gentleman and a scholar.
Yeah.
Well, I'm ready to like just be done with the 49ers game. And it sucked. Let's hope that this was our bad game of the year. And
can I ask you like a question though? Like you feel like the 49ers are a Super Bowl team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And our hopes like going into the season were like, that the Jags were going to be a Super Bowl team, right? And like after the loss to the Chiefs, and after this loss, I just don't feel like we are that team anymore. And I'm wondering, like when you if you go into the draft or something like that, if you could like replace like a player on our team right now with somebody that could get us over that hump, like who would it be? You know what I mean? I feel like we're solid, and if that's the case, then it's coaching, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, oh, you feel the same way?
Yeah, I mean, that's the perfect way to put it. Like, is there one person that we could bring on outside of like, you know, prime Tom Brady, which that's not going to happen. Like, is there
Right.
somebody that, like you said, can we draft somebody different and it would make the difference? No, no, you're right. It's
Right.
coaching, which is interesting that you put it that way because it's like if they're not performing on the field, it's coaching, right? Like they need to coach them up. They need to coach them up better and not just call better plays, but like practice. We are talking about practice because apparently we don't know
Yep.
how to either call plays or do it right on the field. I don't know,
Right.
but you all the same way that you put it as well is the same reason. Like we're still an elite team. We're still gonna be competing in February for Super Bowl. This is just it's any given Sunday, man. And unfortunately, this was not our Sunday. So
Well, I mean, the reason I feel like that is, there's a hump, right? Like that you got to get over, like a speed bump. Um,
mhm,
and we haven't got over that. Um, not since the turnaround mid-season last year.
mhm.
And I was just figuring like how we could possibly take that to the next level, And it's like if for a long time there, I was like, I'm not blaming the coaching because Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl with the Eagles,
Yeah,
so you give them that credit and those accolades or whatever
mhm,
that would follow.
yeah,
But then you see Press Taylor in the product, and that's my biggest gripe so far. Like I hate it like a burning passion. That play
yeah,
calling in this offense are like
yeah,
oil and water, and watching it as a product being put on the field every game this season makes my blood boil, dude.
yeah.
And I just cannot stand it anymore. Like it sucks so bad. Like you cannot do that with these weapons, man.
Yeah, 100%,
Yeah, you
100%.
you got people saying that QBs that aren't as good as Trevor Lawrence, like all of a sudden they're putting up stats or whatever because the offense that they're in, you know, like all of a sudden they look better, whatever. Like how that shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
And it makes it
No,
like insanely tough to defend it too. Like
right. And
what
it's not even stats. Like if you're a solid team, you don't necessarily need to have Trevor Lawrence throw up 300 yards and 4 touchdowns every week, right? Like because a good team is well built and you're not relying on that one arm. Like the Texans, let's be honest, man, they're you know Stroud is putting up those numbers, but they need him to put up those numbers to win.
right.
Jaguars, we don't need Trevor Lawrence to do that. But even though we don't see the stats, it's the eyeball test, man. Eyeball test just it's not passing for me. And I think you agree. Like the product that Press Taylor or who we assume is Press Taylor that's putting out on the field is not passing
It
the
is.
eyeball test. That's
It
way
is.
too much talent out there to not be taken advantage of. So
It no, let's not say assume. It is 100% Press Taylor. Doug no, Doug Peter
allegedly.
no, Doug Peterson has said like multiple times that Press is in
Mhm.
charge of the offense, whatever, and he trusts him. So,
Yeah.
and until he says otherwise, I'm not going to believe it. But anyway, and like when I said like it's getting hard to defend, this is the type of comments I was talking about. Lawrence is an elite. He shows signs that he could be, but he cracks under pressure. He isn't even top 8. 1 Mahomes, 2 Hurts, 3 Herbert. I'm about to stop reading this
You
shit
gotta
right
see the
there.
next comment. Next
3
comment.
3 Oh, I'm
Next
trolling.
there you go.
You cannot put Herbert at 3, dude. Anyway, Joey Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. No. The best thing Josh Allen ever did in his career was be on the cover of Madden, dude. God, that guy's a bum. Stop putting him in our face. What people are upset about Trevor Lawrence is that they keep pushing the narrative that he's generational elite talent, blah blah blah. No, they're doing that with Josh Allen. Josh Allen has always been a bum, dude.
Tell me how you really feel about Josh Allen.
Yeah, I think I summed it up. 49ers were due. They lost 3 in a row coming off a bye. Things didn't click. They'll bounce back. Just need to tighten up.
Yeah, if you're watching this, go to
Herbert stat-wise winning games. No, yeah.
if you're watching this live, go to our page. I wrote an article kind of about that where it was kind of a perfect storm. Regardless of who was going to play the 49ers this week, you probably were going to lose, but it wasn't the loss that kills us. It's the way we lost. So,
yeah.
I don't want to be a dead horse. I'm kind of done with the 49ers game. Let's run, nation.
I feel the same way. We lost to Let's Run Nation.
Dude, they won last night.
Wilson looked like he did on the Seahawks. I'm just saying that was crazy.
Maybe coaching makes a difference. Coaching matters. Coaching matters. Just saying. You get Nathaniel Hackett out of there and put in a Super Bowl winning coach.
No, he looked like for the last couple of weeks, man, Russell Wilson has looked like Mr. Unlimited. I don't know if you've seen that, man, but if you haven't, you got to. I wish KC had Denver's receiving core. Yeah, dude. I forget. Sure I have forgot the names out there or whatever, but then after completing passes for once, I was like, holy shit, Jerry Jeudy, Marvin Mims. I wanted Marvin Mims.
Yeah. Bro, I just don't understand Doug's infatuation with press when he keeps having to take over play calling abilities from him. Wish Doug would just cut his losses with press and take over differently. I mean, the only explanation is that press has like nudies of him or something with Dolphins. I don't know. There is something to that. So let's hope.
I just think it's like the same thing that happened with Doug and Andy or whatever. It's just like that mentorship. Mm-hmm. It's like you like me and you were gonna, and then I could trust you with this and that. So I just think that there's that relationship that has been built. And other than that, like
upon a bed of lies.
Yeah. If you take the fucking blinders off, Doug, you would understand that this relationship is toxic.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. He's got something on him. Kind of like how we thought Trent Baalke had something on the owner, but that seems to be working itself out. But anyways, like I said, I am done with the 49ers game. I think the Jaguars, again, we're talented enough. We'll right the ship. We'll figure it out. We'll keep winning. We'll do what we got to do. And I hate to say it, but I hope this is a game that, this is a turning point. Kind of like last year's the Lions game, how cliche that is, right? But, I hate that we have to even have those kind of games, but let's just hope the players and the coaches, take this as a lesson learned, like legitimately, and, make the changes that need to happen. Be the change.
I mean, sometimes do you need stuff like that to happen or whatever? Because it's like, that like I said, the mistakes, they just all came together as one right there. And
all right,
if you're winning games, you don't really kind of like look to fix those, but then it takes an embarrassing loss or whatever to really dig deep, become introspective.
Exactly. Our wins were masking up the realities. So
right.
I'm kind of done with the 49ers. Any last thoughts for you?
That was it.
Cool. All right. This next week we play the Titans. I believe it's at home, or is it away?
Oh shit. No, it's at home.
At home. Okay. All right. Are you going to the game?
I don't know yet.
Well, what are your thoughts? What do you think? Without going too much detail, like what do you think is going to happen and the score?
Man. Okay, here's what I want to happen. I
Mhm.
want the Jags to all of a sudden get their shit together, come in there, and it looks like a miracle took over at coaching or whatever. Press Taylor is just like getting coffee like he should be, being an intern, or something or whatever. And then Doug has his glasses on the whole damn time and he's calling plays. And then because of that, or whatever, this offense is going to look like it should have beat the shit out of the 49ers instead of what happened. And then this is some crazy score like 65 to 0 or some shit. Like we run over Tennessee like it's a cupcake game. That's what I hope is going to happen. What I fear is going to happen is the opposite. uh that we're just not going to have our stuff together and it's going to look like that again, and then we get out of there with like, and holy shit, that was close, but still get the dub somehow, like we've been doing with the other games for the season. So um I'm gonna stay realistic, and I'm gonna say that this might be a close game.
Mm.
Yep. And then we get our, I think this would be our first win at home. No, second win, because the first one was against the Colts.
Yeah.
Yep. Which will be cool to see for the people. A score. Do we even get 20?
Be what?
I said, do we even get 20?
Yes.
20. Okay, 20 to 14.
Dang. West V from YouTube says, "Don't even act like you're unsure or nervous about Sunday. It would take a divine intervention from numerous gods for the Titans to be within 20." There's a lot going on in there. I like it. Numerous
No,
gods.
dude, no. Like the fans of other teams have been doing that. Like the Texans did it during the off season, or whatever, and all of a sudden they turned out to be like okay. And then Titans fans lately have been like all of a sudden like they went from quiet to now they're like becoming more realistic fans. Um, the noticing is what I call it. All of a sudden, the noticing is happening or whatever for Titans
Mhm.
fans, like universally or whatever. The same things that we were saying during the off seasons about them, like how the coaching and the quarterback situation, how Derrick Henry's getting old or whatever. Like all that stuff's coming together. But now they're like trying to be like more realistic about it. But I feel like when fans do that, like all of a sudden their team like comes out and just makes them liars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I think we let's see what this says. I think Trevor's gonna play like his hair's on fire Sunday. He plays better when he's angry. I hope so, man. I hope he comes out, but I hope we come out and it's business, right? Like we take care of business because we're talented, we're elite, and we're better than you. Like like I hope we don't win just because we have a chip on our shoulder. Because a chip on your shoulder doesn't show up week in and week out. It does coming out and taking care of business like you're supposed to, performing like you're supposed to. I mean, at this point, if Press Taylor is going to keep calling the plays, I elicit to Trevor Lawrence audible every effing play. Okay, Press Taylor calls this one, you go to the next one because clearly whatever he's about to call is the wrong play. But I think because I think the Titans are going to be rolling out Levis, right? And he had that one, his first week was really awesome, but he's gone back to back games without throwing a touchdown pass. So our offense is super struggling. Our defense, I think, is going to be really good up against this rookie quarterback. So I think this is going to be one of those where they are going to play with that chip, but also we are talented. So I think it's going to be pretty big. Vegas has us as 6.5 point favorites with a total at 40 points. I say we break 30. I'll say 31, and the Titans put up 9 points. So 31-9 is what I say. So, and we right the ship and prepare to beat the pants off of CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts, Cody?
I hope everybody involved in the Zay Jones thing comes out, okay from it. It's a terrible situation, and we haven't really spoken on it since it happened. Whatever, like this is our first podcast since finding out. But I hate people that like just jump on it or whatever, like trying to get like clicks and views and stuff. Like it, like especially when things like this, it's like just let the facts play out. Let it all come out to light before you make a real comment on it. But right now, I just Zay has a family, and the people that is his ex-wife, I think. Her family's out there too. Like people are like, it affects more than just this team. You know what I mean? It affects the community. So, do you have anything to say about it?
I mean, like you said, let the facts come out. I think a lot of the facts have come out. I mean, obviously not exactly what happened because we got to hear each side of the story, but it's, I think from what I've seen on Twitter and national media, everyone's got Zay's back. It doesn't seem like it was anything crazy. The only reason it's as high profile as it is because it's Zay Jones and it's Jacksonville. So, not to say that domestic violence isn't anything to take lightly, but from what has been said from the situation, it seems like there wasn't really much to it. Of course, allegedly, and we haven't heard the complete story, but it seems as though the Twitterverse has Zay Jones back, and obviously the team will have Zay's back. Of course, if everything comes out and comes to light, and we learn that it's not as terrible as people might think it is. So, but yeah, I don't really have anything else to say.
That would have been like something that would have happened in the bye week. It was like like the when we sucked. You know what I mean? It was just like we couldn't get away from like taking an L somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was expecting like something like terrible like that to be, the news during the bye week, honestly. And then when we made it out, it was like, oh, we're good, we're good, we're good. Season's here. Let's go. And then to like open up Twitter that day and seeing that news was like heartbreaking.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess one last thing is, hey, everybody, please like, share, comment. Go to our YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube if you aren't already. We're doing a giveaway. I'm giving away once we hit 100 subscribers on YouTube, I'm giving away an autograph card of Travis Etienne Jr. And once we hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to give away a Trevon Walker signed jersey. And you know what? In between, I'm probably going to sprinkle in some more giveaways. So, but we want to give this stuff away. And the only way we can give it away is if people like, subscribe, share. So please, if you haven't already, just take a few minutes, go in and go to our YouTube channel. It is Jags Fan Battle. Super easy to find. It's got our logo on it, and just hit that subscribe button. And yeah, you were on the main podcast? They did a giveaway yesterday. What team?
So apparently it was another Texans fan.
Seems rigged to me.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I was like, do it again, spin it again. I didn't believe it was random, but he spun it again, whatever, and it got close to the same name, but it landed on another one. So I was like, all right, I'll let you get away with it.
Well, Cody, like I said, you got anything else to say?
Nope, nothing to plug other than the show. Join us next Tuesday when we beat the fucking Titans. Let's go.
Let's go. Go Jags. And again, thanks everyone for hanging out, and we will see you